It rolls in here. We're starting Leviticus today. I'm gonna play a song I was just listening to from Bryson Gray. Shout out Bryson. I don't care about any monetization on this, so you can claim this if you want to. I don't really mind, but I like Bryson Gray's music. Christian hip hop, very scriptural Christian hip hop, not soft Christianity. I can't stand that soft Christianity. So we're going to play this song from Bryson real quick. It's called False Teachers. I put in my thumbnail. It's going to be in all the thumbnails from now on. Not a preacher, not a teacher. Morning Bible study with Josh. Not a preacher, not a teacher. I'm not here to preach at you, and I'm not here to teach you anything. You should let no man teach you. Call no man father and let no man teach you. Study to show yourself approved. Knowledge puffs up and love builds up. So I'm not here to teach anybody anything. I'm not here to preach at anybody. I'm here to read the Bible and learn for myself. And if you guys want to come along for the ride, then you're welcome to. So let's listen to this.
All you gotta do is
That's an ad. All right, and we'll watch the video too. Starts out with Brandon Robertson, a false teacher,
rather than a...
The Bible is not necessary for salvation, and the Bible
I like
is
this song.
not necessary to have a robust
Pay attention to the
relationship
words.
with God.
All them false teachers, you gon' pay for it. And it's coming back soon, so just wait for it. Better hope he have mercy, better pray for it. John 3:36, what you say, Lord? Whoever don't obey the Son, get the wrath of God. Don't ask me questions, better start asking God. Because you ain't mad at me, you really mad at God. And I used to rap for the devil, now I rap for God. You scared of persecution? Yeah, I understand. What happens when you deny God in front of man? Y'all run around questions about the LGBT, but God said a man shouldn't be with another man. He said it's an abomination. The word is the word, forget the denomination.
He said it's an abomination. The word is the word, forget the denomination. The word is the word, forget the denomination. Based.
God in front of man. Y'all run around questions about the LGBT, but God said a man shouldn't be with another man. He said it's an abomination. The word is the word, forget the denomination. Stop switching the word to avoid confrontation. You serving the world, you ready for that conversation? I listened to Christian hip hop, I heard a lot of verses. They talked about cars, I ain't hear any Bible verses. Y'all taking advantage of Christians, no, they gotta purchase. I guess it's for the money, I mean, I hope it's worth it. Revelation 3:15, that's what this about. You could've stayed with God, but you took a different route. Instead of telling the truth, you kept it in your mouth. You know what he do to lukewarm, he spit him out. Y'all always talk about the love, but forget the wrath. The road to the kingdom is narrow, so you do the math. The way is broad to the darker path. The Bible tells you who's going, so we ain't gotta ask. 1 Corinthians 6:9-13. The most important words are do not be deceived. People will lie to you, but we know where that leads. They hearing soft Christianity, I got what they need. And all them false teachers, you gon' pay for it. And it's coming back soon, so just wait for it. You better hope he have mercy, better pray for it. John 3:36, what you say, Lord? You'll hide behind salvation to justify your sin. And when I ask you for scripture, then you gon' lie again. And now you angry, well, there go your plot again. And they questioning your faith, are you gon' hide again? You saved through grace and faith, but how does that work? First off, faith is dead without works. You did not God, you go to hell, you don't get the perks. And that's the truth, if you been lied to, I know it hurt. James 2:26, you know I got receipts. Being a warrior for God isn't for the weak. Stop following these false teachers lying every week. Leading the
Being a warrior for God isn't for the weak. Iron sharpens iron.
And that's the truth. If you've been lied to, I know it hurt. James 2:26, you know I got receipts. Being the warrior for God isn't for the weak. Stop following these false teachers lying every week, leading the listeners to hell every time they preach. This for Joel Osteen, TD Jakes too, and every TV preacher that's making bank too. Kurt Franklin and every Christian rapper they through. The Bible says I gotta expose the fake too. You know iron sharpen iron, let me break through. They talk about money, start bringing up the faith too. And you need to run from sin if you gay too. If not, then you getting denied at the gate too. And if I'm preaching hate, then God preaching hate too. Adulterers, they gon' end up in the lake too.
If I'm preaching hate, then God's preaching hate too. They're gonna end up in the lake too.
Of the faith too, and you need to run from sin if you gay too. If not, then you getting denied at the gate too. And if I'm preaching hate, then God preaching hate too. Adulterers, they gon' end up in the lake too. And I got another message for Lecrae too. I just wanna see you better. I don't hate you.
How do you feel about same-sex marriage?
First of all, how I feel about any topic, I think is going to be really minute. I think that's been the big problem. Is that I think that as Christians, as the church, we've come across like the police.
Yeah.
You know, where it comes across like, where the spirit of it feels like the world police.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever my lens is, it's always going to be trying my best to see something through what I believe.
All them false teachers, you gon' pay for it, and it's coming back soon, so just wait for it.
Good job dodging the question, Lecrae. Good job dodging the question, Lecrae. All right. Shout out Bryson Gray. Calling everybody out. All right, I'm going to take the headphones off. I don't need them. I don't need them for this. Whoa. What was that? Whoa. Feedback, sorry. Got the headphones too close to the microphone. All right, you guys ready for some Leviticus? First, I'm going to show you this. So, hold on. So Leviticus is the book of law. It doesn't mean law. It comes from the tribe of Levi. And the Levites were the one, remember, with Moses, when he came down and they were worshiping the calf, the golden calf. And he said, who's going to stand for God? And the Levites stepped up. And they all took a sword and they went and killed, 3,300 men that day who were sleeping after partying and worshiping the cow that day. So Leviticus comes from Leviticon, connected to those of the tribe of Levi. It's a book of laws and instructions for the Israelites. So I have this pyramid here to kind of help us out with it. So we're going to be starting off down here. So chapters 1 through 6 are about ritual sacrifice. So today we're going to be talking about ritual sacrifice for the people. And then unless we can get through all the way to chapter 7, it depends on how long these chapters. Oh, they seem like short chapters. Oh, these are short chapters. Oh, these are real short chapters. 4 is kind of long. Some of these are real short chapters. Some of them are kind of long. They're about average. There's some short ones, though. So we might be able to get through 7 today to cover all of the ritual sacrifices. We're going to look at the ritual feasts, special days, the oil and the bread, God's name, and the Sabbath year. But this is actually, no, it looks like we go up this way and down this way. So it's kind of they have like a pyramid here. We go from ritual sacrifice to the priest being ordained in chapters 8 through 10, to ritual purity for the food, for childbirth, skin, mold, bodily fluids. In Leviticus 11 through 15. Then the Day of Atonement, and then we go back down through purity again, moral purity, sex, practices, and penalties for immorality. And then priest qualifications and ritual feasts. So we go from ritual to priesthood to purity to atonement to purity to priesthood to ritual. And then the end is the call to covenant faithfulness, rewards and consequences. Rewards and consequences. Redeeming people and property. So this is the layout. Today we're going to focus. I don't know how far we're going to get. I don't really plan to stop it until about 12:30 or 1. So I just read, and it depends on how much we echo? Depends on how much we stop and talk and look stuff up and things like that. How far we get. We should at least get to I'd like to get to chapter 7 so we can cover this chunk of the pyramid right here, the ritual sacrifices. So that's the plan. Echo, what are you breathing so hard for, dude? That's the plan. A new version of motive mix is available. I'll update it later. I'm not updating it right now. What's up, Robert? At work, so I'll be in and out. No problem, man. All right, let's get into it. Leviticus, the third book of Moses, called Leviticus. Leviticus, Greek for relating to the priests. Chapter 1. Echo. What do you want, dude? You're breathing so heavy. Go out there. What do you want? Okay. Chapter 1. And the Lord called unto Moses and spake unto him of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto the Lord, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord. Morning, Amanda. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before the Lord, and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. It's dark in here because my light doesn't work. It's hard to see. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aaron's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before the Lord, and the priest Aaron's son shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Inward, no, not that, no. It's like innards, but it says inwards. Inwards. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. See, I don't think they had chickens. We were talking about this. Who was talking about this the other day? But I think in Genesis, I think in Exodus, it did mention chickens at some point. Or Egypt had chickens. But the Israelites have turtle doves or pigeons. Remember, God sent the pigeons. Yes, that it's spelled that way. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar and wring off his head and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers and cast it beside the altar on the east part by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And by the way, if you saw on the thumbnail, remember at the end of Exodus, Moses, they built the tabernacle, and it says that the smoke cloud is there all day, and the fire is there all night. Remember, whenever Moses went up to Mount Sinai, there would be a smoke cloud and there would be fire. So this represents God moving into Israel. He's moving into the tabernacle to live, not live amongst the Israelites, but it's kind of symbolic of he's now among the Israelites. He was up in the mountain. They were his chosen people. Now he lives among them. He dwells among them. And this is chapter 2. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and put frankincense thereon. Meat here is LA 1A or slaughter. Huh. It's not telling me. Oh, meal. A meal offering. So like grain. So in this case, flour. So some of them, if they're farmers, they're not going to have a lot of meat to offer. It says a meat offering, but it's a meal offering, as in grain meal, flour, grain, whatever crops they're growing, they can offer that as well. And the offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron. He shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar to be an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto the Lord. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering, baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened with oil. There shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour unleavened mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord, and when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven nor any honey in any offering of the Lord made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn, dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Chapter 3. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herb, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand, oh, sorry, not herb, herd. If he offer it of the herd, not herb. Yeah, that's herd. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. It shall he take away. And Aaron's son shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Lord be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's son shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat thereof and the whole rump, it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord. Oh, I need a drink of water. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron, shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering. This thing's going to explode in my hand. Even an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food for the offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. Woo. That's very carbonated. I'm gonna get hiccup. I got hiccups. Hold on. I'm gonna try the say hiccup right before you hiccup technique. Watch this. Right now, all I'm doing is focusing on saying hiccup right before I hiccup. As close to when I'm about to hiccup, I want to say hiccup right before I hiccup. And the hiccups are gone. He shall. What's up, Creative Witch? Let's see. And if his offering be a goat, did we get to that part? I'm going to go back to 12 because I forgot where I was. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering, made by fire of a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Chapter 4. So funny. Why? Because my hiccup strategy, it worked. It worked, didn't it? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, this is chapter 4, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sins of the people, then let him bring for his sin which he hath sinned a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. So this the previous 4 chapters is about meat offerings. If you're offering your grains, blood. What was the first one's called? Burnt offerings of meat. Meat offerings of meat, or meal offerings of grains. Peace offerings of goats of the herd and sheep and things of the herd. And now we're on sin offerings. Always hold my breath and that works. Yep. You're looking for Shazzy? We'll let her know. She usually doesn't come here in the morning. Okay, so let him bring for his sin, which he hath sinned, a young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. See, this is the law that Jesus fulfilled. This stuff, when people say, oh, in the Old Testament, Christians made blood offerings, and that's like satanic and blah, 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 blah. This is symbolic of every time you sin, blood is shed. And Christ, when he comes, we no longer have to do this because he shed the ultimate blood. He was the perfect sacrifice. These animals and these grains and stuff, this offering is just, it's more just a habit. I kind of look at it like it gets you in the habit of not sinning. And it gets you in the habit of staying faithful to God. Like everything that you gain in life, and this is why we tithe. Everything you gain in life, every profit that you have, every benefit you have, all the praise should be to God. It's not of yourself. It's not, you didn't really earn it. We don't earn things. We're given blessings by God. If he approves us, he gives us the blessing. He gives the growth. He gives us the benefits to reap. We reap what we sow. We sow the seeds. He gives the growth. And so everything that we receive, this helps us stay aware that it's from God. So that's why you do these peace offerings and these burnt offerings, and then the sin offerings. So then every time you sin, now you have to do a burnt offering. You're losing something. There's a penalty you have to pay for sinning. You have to lose a cattle from your herd, or a goat or a sheep from your flock, or a percentage of your grain every time you sin. It keeps you aware. I need to follow God, and I need to try to get away from that. But all these things, all these material things and these animals, they mean nothing. It's more just a ritual, a habit that we get into to keep us aware of God, but that they mean nothing. So when Christ comes and he sheds his blood, and he's a perfect man, the Son of God, he sheds his blood for us, then we don't have to keep doing these because the price has already been paid. Doesn't mean we shouldn't stay aware. It just means we don't have to keep doing these burnt offerings forever. Plus, this is for the Israelites. You know, you could be an Israelite Christian, but I'm not an Israelite. Well, I may be a son of Abraham. And a son of God. But Christ already paid the ultimate sacrifice. He already gave the ultimate blood offering for me. This is evening for us. Oh, huh. That's true. Time zones. I forgot. The world is round. I have to drink this very slowly and breathe when I drink it because it's very fizzly. Very fizzly. Gonna give me the hickly dizzlies. Blood. It's in the blood. So that's why they do these blood offerings. But a lot of like atheist types and people who want to prove Christians to be evil or prove the Bible to be evil and stuff, they'll mention these blood offerings and these rituals and these sacrifices, and they'll say, well, look what the Christians were doing. They're sacrificing animals and they're sprinkling blood around the altar. And like, doesn't this sound like some like demonic ritual stuff? It's not. In fact, a lot of them probably stole it from us. That's like revisionist history that everything Christians do, all the traditions we have and all the feasts we have that we stole from the pagans. A lot of times it's the other way around. The pagans stole it from us. All right, verse 8. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering, and the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, with his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung. Burn it. Even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. Dinner time and JS Bible study. That's how we roll in the Healy household. Let's go. What you having for dinner? I don't know if you want to eat while I'm talking about all these burnt offerings and animal dung and stuff like that. It might not be appetizing. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll make you hungry. Because they're basically cooking up for God. It's a sweet savor unto God. Is this a religious butcher manual? Well, kinda. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hidden from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord, and the bullock shall be killed before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before the Lord. That is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. When a ruler hath sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord of God concerning things, hey, thank you for the gifted membership, Robert. Commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty. Bintok. I don't know if I've ever seen Bintok here, but I know who that is. Concerning things which should be done, and is guilty. Or if his sin, wherein he hath sinned, come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. I'm going to look something up. Horn of the altar. I'm thinking it's like a Yule. Not a Yule, but I don't think it's like horn of the altar. Huh. In the Bible, the horns of the altar were projections of the corners of the altar of burnt offering. They were a place of refuge, a symbol of God's protection, a place of atonement. Does look kind of some of these pictures it does look kind of iffy. Okay. Let me see something here. I did that one for you, Josh, not the chair. Nice. I know. Chair gets all the love. Okay, so it's kind of like a bullhorn. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I could see why people would think that this is like kind of wild, because look at this. See the horns here outside the where they do the burnt offerings? So it's not like a Yule horn. It's not like this. Something like this. Something like this. This. Okay, so it is what it sounds like. It's horns. These ones look like goat horns almost. What is the prophetic significance of the four horns of the altar? How sweet are your words? Actually, this horns of the altar. The four horns of the altar sacrifice was placed where the blood atonement was sprinkled. Horn in Hebrew is querin, meaning horn, hill, or ray. This word is used to describe the rays of light rays emanating from the face of Moses after his encounter with Yahweh. And the horns of an animal, Psalm 69:31. This also shall please the Lord better than an ox or bull, which has horns and hooves. In ancient cultures, the horn was a metaphor for physical strength or spiritual power. Elsewhere, Yahweh is referred to as man's horn of salvation, meaning he is the strength of our salvation. The Hebrew word for salvation is yesha, meaning deliverance, rescue, safety, welfare, victory, prosperity. The root of yesha is the verb yasha, meaning to save, to deliver, or to give victory. Not only is Yahweh called our horn of salvation in the Tanakh, but his designation is applied to Yeshua as well in the testimony of Yeshua in Luke 169, and has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Interestingly, Yeshua is a derivative of the Hebrew name Yehoshua or Joshua. I've debunked that. See, this is just the first, well, it's not the first site I saw, but it's a derivative. So it's derived from Joshua, but Joshua, so it's kind of like, let me try to think of an example. Derivative of Joshua, which also derives from Yasha, strength. So both mean strength. It should be evident from this quick study that the horns of the altar are a picture of Yeshua, who is the horn of strength of our salvation and who shed his blood for our sins on the altar of the cross. This being the case, well, I mean, that's cool to know. So my name is, so Yeshua and Yehoshua are both derived from Yasha, which means strength. Based. Yeah. Based. This being the case, why then are there 4 horns on the altar? This is likely symbolic of the 4 attributes of Yeshua, even as the 4 colors of cloth used throughout the tabernacle prophetically symbolize the same thing. Crimson speaks to Yeshua's humanity, not his blood. Purple to his kingship, blue to his divinity. I knew purple was kingship, purple is royalty, blue is divinity, white is purity. Okay, crimson speaks to his humanity, which means blood. Usually you hear purple is royalty, blue is divinity, white is purity, red is blood, or like we have blood flowing through us, so his humanity. Yeshua was made human. Very fitting. Yeah, I like that. Additionally, the Jewish sages view the 4 horns as symbolizing the 4 corners of the earth, for in Hebraic thought, the earth is nothing more than a large altar dedicated to Elohim. More importantly, the horns of the 4 corners of the altar prophetically and symbolically point to the fact that Yeshua's blood poured out at the cross saves all humans from the 4 corners of the earth who would trust in him from their sins. Flat earthers are going to have a field day with this one. The 4 horns are also mentioned in Leviticus 4:4, 17, 18. So a lot in Leviticus 4, which, we're reading Leviticus 4 right now. So that's, 8:15, 9:9, and 16:18. But they're first mentioned in Exodus 29:12, which we read a couple days ago, which is when they're being told how to build the altar, and it said to put the 4 horns on it. Now we're in Leviticus, and it's telling about putting the blood on the horns for certain types of offerings. All right, cool. So we understand what the horns represent. They're not demon horns. In fact, I bet you, now that I think about it, this is just my speculation. I'm doing some headcanon here. You know how Satan twists everything? He twists everything like godly. It takes the rainbow and makes it gay. He lies to Adam and Eve and tells them that his father's just trying to deceive them. You don't want to follow your father's command. You want free will. You want autonomy, right? So you don't have to listen to your father's commands. You do what you want. You can do what thou wilt, right? I think, now that I think about it, all the images we see of Satan. Now, Baphomet has big old goat horns, but not bull horns, right? These are bull horns, strength. The horn. So I bet you, I'm not going to bet, but I have a feeling the reason that all of our imagery of Satan, like the red face with the 2 horns on his head, and people will wear at Halloween, they'll wear the horns on their head. I bet you that's a perversion of this. I bet it's not that this is because what people will imply is that this blood ritual stuff and the horns are like satanic or something like that. I think the idea of what Satan looks like with the red horns is actually a perversion of this, which is a good thing. But that's just headcanon. I'm just thinking out loud, so I don't know that that's true. Again, I'm not a preacher and I'm not a teacher. I'm just a guy who thinks and talks on the internet. Okay, where were we? I have no idea where we were. Did we get through? Oh man, I have no idea where we were, and these verses kind of like are repeating, so it's hard to. I don't want to read the whole thing again. Does anybody know where I stopped? I didn't say. Oh man, if I stop, I need to make a mark or I need to say what verse I'm on, and somebody needs to put it in chat. He shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken. It's the same thing. He shall carry forth the bullock. He shall burn all his fat upon the altar. Common people sin through ignorance. If any one of the common people, okay, we haven't got to the common people yet. We're at the rulers. And the elders of the congregation shall lay hands, the priests, the congregation, shall dip his finger in some of the blood 7 times. The veil, and shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this, and the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. Okay, verse 21. I think this is where we were. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. Nope, we're past this, because now here's the ruler. Oh, man. It's just kind of repetitive. So the ruler, bottom, and he shall burn all his fat upon the offering, sacrifice of peace offerings. The priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. Okay, so the ruler. Now the common people. And if any of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he has sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Chapter 5. They're actually all talking with Wally about that right now on Just Wise channel. Talking with Wally about what? Saying it's a bad idea to do a show with her. It's a real dog pile. That's where I just came from. I gave my input. I think it's fine. It's going to have other perspectives. I have nothing against Eternal. Yeah, I don't either. I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't care. I just noticed she stopped coming around my channel and she left my Discord. And I wonder, I don't want to say that now. Anyway, that's unimportant. That's irrelevant. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I know. I've seen it. Chapter 5. But I have some suspicions. Let's just say that. I have some suspicions about why she left my Discord and doesn't come on my panel anymore. And let's just say it's kind of lame, if you ask me. But I'm not going to say anything else. Chapter 5. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, this is irrelevant. We're doing Bible study. Fair. Sorry to derail. No problem. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he have seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul hear the voice of swearing, and if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, adjuration. What does adjuration mean? Hear the voice of swearing, the adjuration, like adjuration. I'm trying to think what it means. A serious request or command or a solemn oath. If a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Hear the voice of swearing. This is odd. 5:1. Exodus 5:1 or Leviticus 5:1. What does that mean? States that if someone hears a public call to testify and does not respond, they will be held responsible. If anyone sins in that he hears a public adjuration to testify, swearing as in swearing in, and though he is a witness, whether he has seen or come to know the matter, yet does not speak, he shall bear his iniquity. So if you witness a crime and they're calling for witnesses and you don't step up, see, some cultures that's called snitching and it's frowned upon. But really, it's actually a sin not to be a witness to a crime. So if you hear that there's something that happened, a public adjuration is a formal request or a command made publicly, often in a legal or religious context. The penalty for this sin is to bring a sin offering to the Lord. The priest will make atonement for the sin. If a person sins because he does not speak up, so here's a real simplified translation. If a person sins because he does not speak up when he hears a public charge to testify regarding something he has seen or learned about, he will be held responsible. Dang. So the Bible says, so don't snitch is not biblical. You're actually supposed to snitch. Interesting. And I agree with that. Even though I think snitching, like in this case, testifying because of a crime, to not testify would be a sin. But I think that's different than like what our parents teach us, don't be a tattletale. If it's a petty little thing and you're constantly tattling, I'm going to tell mom and dad, I'm going to tell on you, I'm going to tell on you. I think that's different. It depends. Yeah, it depends on the situation, I guess. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Leviticus also is where it's going to tell us not to touch a dead body, which is why I think that's why they wrap them up and they take them to a tomb. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hidden from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. The uncleanness of man. Leviticus 5:3. Unclean creeping things. Yeah, like the velociraptors. I don't know. Little demon bugs. I don't know. Leviticus 5:3. I want to look at 2 and 3. 5:2. What is an unclean creeping thing? Carcass of unclean animals, such as camels, hares, swine, and conies. What's a coney or a connie? What's a connie? Carcasses of unclean livestock. Unclean creeping things. So like a rabbit is an unclean. Rabbits do carry like if you cook, I have a rabbit in my freezer right now. Um, if you cook anything, you can cook the uncleanness out of it. The disease. Coney. What is that? What is a coney? And rats and stuff? Yeah, rats, rabbits. It's a type of rabbit. Oh, like maybe a jackrabbit or something. Yeah, rabbits are actually very unclean. If you kill a rabbit and you have to like keep it away from your body. They have like mites and lice and bugs. If you kill a rabbit and you just throw it on your shoulder, you're going to have like bugs in your hair and in your clothes and stuff. It's not good. You got to kill them and skin them right there. And then you got to cook them very thoroughly. But now I want to see Leviticus 5:3. What do they mean by the uncleanness of man? If they touch human uncleanness, or if they touch human uncleanness, anything that would make them unclean, even though they are unaware of it, but they learn it and realize their guilt. What is human uncleanness? Matthew Henry's concise commentary. Leviticus 5:3. Hid from him. Uncleanness of man. Leviticus 5:3 commentaries. Bible study tools. This is not helping me. I'm trying to find what they mean by uncleanness of man. Everything's just giving me the verse, though. Leviticus 5:3. Leviticus 5:3, uncleanness of man refers to a situation where someone unknowingly touches something considered ceremonial or unclean, like a dead body or a person with a specific bodily discharge, making them ritually impure, even if they were not aware of it at the time. Once they realize their uncleanness, they are considered guilty and must take steps to be purified through a sacrifice. Bodily fluids. Gross. That's wild. Okay. Or a dead body. Unknowingly. Okay, 3. Shall be defiled withal, and it be held from him. When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be, that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it shall be hid from him when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin, which he hath sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, or for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he have committed 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons unto the Lord, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner, and the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin, which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, then he that sins shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah. We looked this up before. What's an ephah? An ephah. We've looked this up before. A 10th part, again, tithing of a 10th of fine flour. An ephah is a measurement. Yeah, we looked this up before. It's just a measurement of flour. A fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then he shall bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar according to the offerings made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his skin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest's as a meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, A soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance. If a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance in the holy things of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm that he hath done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Lord, though he wist it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he offered and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Lord. Yeah, I think we're going to go all the way through chapter 7. Where's our pyramid at? Yeah, we're going to go all the way through 7. We still got a lot of time. Well, I'd like to have a day where I can get to sleep early, so we'll just go through 7 today. We're at the beginning of 6, so we got 2 chapters left. While I'm reading this, think about, I got a question for you guys. Here, I'm going to put a poll in the chat. Engage with your audience. Poll. I want to ask you guys when I should release my protest video. Is there E at, yeah. Since I got you guys here, when should I premiere my protest video? After Bible study on Friday, or right before VK on Friday? I'm just going to say tomorrow. Well, so basically tomorrow is a day full of content. So we're going to do the Bible study around the same time as always. And then after today's Bible study, I've got the video edited. I've got it uploaded. I've got all the stuff that I need for the thumbnail. I just need to do some quick editing and then put the thumbnail together. And then I have to use, I'm going to give you a little trick of the game here for your tags in your YouTube videos. You can go to other YouTube videos that are popular, and there's a website called Tag Extractor. And so I could go to like other videos that are similar to the video that I'm releasing, and I can extract the tags that they used in their video and put them into my video, the same tags. So I got to do the tags, I got to finish the thumbnail, and I got to write a description, which is not, I'll have all that done in like 15 minutes. But basically the poll is, Uh-oh, what happened? When do you want the premiere? Do you want the premiere after Bible study tomorrow? So I do Bible study, and then I can raid you guys right into the premiere of the video. Or I do the Bible study, and I go to bed, and I have the premiere start right before I start streaming and VK starts. It'd be like I could have it premiere and it will end like a half an hour before VK starts, and then as soon as it ends, I'll start streaming for the Friday night stream for like a half an hour before VK, and then I'll go into VK, and then I'll do the after panel. Chat interaction does help the video, so yes, that's true. But the question is, when do you guys think it's going to get after the Bible study so far is looking like? We'll give it some time to see if other people come in. And how we're going to, so I can raid you from the Bible study into the premiere of the video, which means if I have it premiere at like 12:30 tomorrow, we'll do the Bible study and we'll have a hard out time. And I'll raid you guys in as soon as the premiere starts. How do I... Did somebody say chat interaction? What's up, DJ on Paul? All right, let's do chapter 6. So you guys got a little while to decide what you think. And the Lord spake unto Moses, chapter 6, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Lord, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor, or hath found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely, and any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he hath sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found. So if you find a wallet, you got to return it. What if there's no ID? What if I find an unmarked envelope full of money on the ground? Do I have to return it? What am I going to do? Take it to the police station? They're just going to pocket it if there's no identifying marks. No. If you find a wallet, you can drop it in a post office box, the blue post office boxes. You can drop a wallet into one of those, and the mailman will return it to the address that's on the ID. If you didn't know that, fun fact. I've done that a couple times. I think that's a really smart idea. What's that? Premiering the video after the Bible study? Yeah, the police would just keep it. Or the lost thing which he found. Or all that about which he hath sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereunto, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth. Appertaineth? That's an interesting word to find in the Bible. In the day of his trespass offering, and he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Lord, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he hath done in trespassing therein. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed, with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it, it shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it. And he shall burn therein the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out. And this is the law of the meat offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before the Lord, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto the Lord. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat with unleavened bread. Shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation? They shall eat it. They shall eat it. It- like the more chats I'm on live, the more video gets pushed in the algorithm. Yeah, that's true. More interaction is always good. So you guys can just, that's why I don't mind if people are talking amongst themselves. Sometimes it throws me off, but I don't mind. It shall not be bacon with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations concerning the offerings of the Lord made by fire. Everyone that toucheth them shall be holy. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and his sons, which they shall offer unto the Lord in the day when he is anointed, the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baken thou shalt bring it in, and the baken pieces of meat offering shalt thou offer for a sweet savor unto the Lord. Remember, every time I say a meat offering, it's a meal offering. It's talking about grain. It's not this is separate from the meat of the animals. And the priest of his sons that is anointed in his stead shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto the Lord. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed shall the sin offering be killed before the Lord. It is most holy. The priest that offereth it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the congregation. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkle of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it is sodden shall be broken, and if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering, whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the congregation to reconcile withal in the holy place, shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire. Okay, one more chapter. I just want to see something real quick. Now, while it could be sitting there because the man rejected his earthly possession and title, I wouldn't want to get in the middle of it. I mean, it could be like a blessing from God. If it's just an unmarked envelope full of money, I feel like that's like a gift from God. But what do I know? I want to see something. Let me go to YouTube Studio. I want to see how this did in checks. Oh, I didn't turn on monetization. Let me see. Inappropriate language. It has inappropriate language. Stronger profanity. Moderate. Safe for ads. Oops. Oops, I didn't do my... This video is being monetized. I'm trying to see if this passed checks to get monetized, because there is some... The protest video, there's a lot of profanity, but it's not me. It's the crowd. They say a lot of degenerate stuff. And then you don't really see it in the video very good, but there is a scene of a little bit of violence, but you don't really see it in the video. I try to zoom in, you kind of see it, but not very good. Looks like it says it's going to get monetized. I wasn't expecting that. So far we got 100%, 5 votes, 100% say after the Bible study tomorrow. You guys want it. And I spelled tomorrow wrong. Did I spell tomorrow wrong both times? How do you spell? Hold on. No, I spelled it right the second time. I put tomorrow. You won't want that out about the tomorrow. Looks like everybody wants it after the Bible study tomorrow, so that's what we'll do. I'll set up the premiere for I'll set up the premiere for 12:30, and then I'll start the Bible study at 10:30 to 11, somewhere in there, and then we'll have a hard out at 12:20, and I will raid you guys over to it. Tomorrow, you won't see that dang tomorrow. All right. I mean, I'm going to get done early today. Let me see. 8 through 10, 11 through 15. Huh. So we're probably not going to we'll get 8 and 10 tomorrow. We'll see the priests ordained. Today we're doing 1 through 7. Tomorrow, I'd like to do it in these chunks. 8 through 10 is a very short. These are when the priests get ordained. 11 through 15. We'll probably go 8 to 13 tomorrow. Because if we have to be out at a specific time, I don't know if we can get all the way 8 through 15. It'd be nice if we could do both these chunks of the pyramid tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Depends on what time I start and how big the chapters are. But looks like everybody wants me to premiere it tomorrow. It's gonna be a pretty good video, guys, and it's you just remember it's been years since I went to a protest, and I was a little rusty. And this is the first time I had a microphone. Dude, microphones give you it's like you have a power. I was expecting anybody I asked to say, no, I don't want to do an interview. Or in the videos, you often see they'll just stand there and ignore you. They won't say anything to people doing interviews. But at this thing, everybody wanted to talk to me. They saw me with a microphone and they were hoping I would come over. And everybody that I said, hey, can I ask you about this? They're like, yeah, let's go. Wait, yeah. They really wanted to talk to me. So I got comfortable very quickly with the microphone, and now I just need to go up to more people and just say, hey, what about that? Problem is, if I start doing any sort of pushback, they run and they tell the organizers, and then they get the green vests on you. They crowd around you and they kind of push you out. What type of mic did you get for that? It's a DJI Mic 2. It's really good. It's a really good mic. All the interviewers where they have the little stick, because that stick is nothing. The stick is just a piece of plastic that you slide the mic into. The mic is actually this big. You can clip it on your shirt, or you can slide it into a thing, and you can connect it Bluetooth to your phone, or you can use the receiver. I use the receiver because it's better that way. There's like a receiver you plug into your phone, and then the mic goes to the receiver into the phone. But you don't even need the receiver. You could just do it Bluetooth straight to your phone, but it's not as good if you do it that way. But you can wear it on your shirt. There's a magnet. You put the magnet on one side of your shirt and you stick it to your shirt. It's got a little wind filter and it picks up everything. It's a really good mic. I like it a lot. And also I was like learning all, because I got a new gimbal too. So I got the DJI Osmo gimbal and I got the DJI mic, and the two of them together, it's awesome. Like I haven't even really learned all the software on the Osmo yet, but you can do like shots where it like rotates as you're, so like if you're walking down a hallway, I should have done this at the airport when I was at the airport, but you can have it like it spins the shot as you're walking. So it's like, or you can do time lapses, or you can do like all sorts of crazy effects. You should start having an Amazon link for the things you use. I'm an Amazon affiliate. I am an Amazon affiliate. I should put those in my. If you look at any of my review videos of products that I've reviewed, if you go into the description, there's Amazon links in there. But yeah, I should put them in all my video descriptions. But I don't think I've ever made a single cent off of my Amazon affiliate link. But I do have that. I am an Amazon affiliate. Anyway, we're just talking because we're getting through this kind of quick today. I'm just going to do one last chapter. Oh, this is a long chapter. Long chapter. All right, let's finish 7. Let's finish learning about the ritual sacrifices for the people and for the priests. Actually, 7, 8 through 10. Okay, now we're going to look at ritual sacrifices for the priests. And also from verse 8 of chapter 6 all the way till the end of 7, these are sacrifices for the priests. Okay, chapter 7. Likewise, this is the law of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer it all, the fat thereof, the rump, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one law for them. The priest that maketh atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offereth any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he hath offered. And all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the fry pans, and in the pan, shall be the priest's that offered it. And every meat offering mingled with oil and dry shall all the sons of Aaron have, one as much as another. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto the Lord. If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil, fine flour fried. Fried flour. Sounds good. Besides the cake, he shall offer for his offering leavened bread with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation for an heave offering unto the Lord, and it shall be the priest that sprinkle the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. Bro, what's God got against leftovers, though? Like, what's the deal with leftovers? I guess they didn't have refrigeration and preservatives, so it's probably a health thing as much as it's a holy thing that you don't keep leftovers because, hold on, I'm getting Getting notifications. What the heck is Chris doing? February 2025. Oh, checks are done. Okay. Didn't I rename that? Maybe I forgot to save it. Why am I losing subscribers? I've lost like 4 subscribers in the past 2 days. Maybe it's because I told one of my friend's moms to leave me alone because she was annoying me with stuff about how much she hates Trump. Like I care. She has no idea what she's talking about. Like Taporia, Seattle. Like Taporia vacating 145 belt. Volkanovski and Diego Lopez will fight for that. Jack Della Maddalena announced for next 170 shot versus Bilal. Daddy Jub's updating. We got a good fight card on Saturday. It's not even a pay-per-view. And there's no women on the whole card. Not the preliminary or the main card. There's no women fights on Saturday. The rump. Okay. We did it again. We read this. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow or a voluntary offering. Oh, yeah, it was leftovers. And on the morrow, also the remainder of it shall be eaten. Wait. Okay. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. Verse 16. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offereth his sacrifice, and on the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the third day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the third day, it shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offereth it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that toucheth any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eateth the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto the Lord, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings which pertain unto the Lord, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat, or of ox, or of sheep, or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dieth of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beasts may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eateth the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, even the soul of that eateth it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul it be that eateth any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, He that offereth the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto the Lord shall bring his oblation unto the Lord of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hands shall bring the offerings of the Lord made by fire, the fat with the breast, it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before the Lord. What's a wave offering? And the priest's a wave offering. We got rump and breast. Wave offering. The Bible, a wave offering is a solemn ceremony where priests wave a sacrifice in front of God. The wave portions become the property of the priest. So it's literally, they just wave it around. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons. And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for an heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offering. If it seems like these priests are being awfully greedy because they get a lot of meat and a lot of grain and a lot of food for themselves, you have to understand that these priests don't leave. Like the Levites and Aaron and his sons, they just stay in the tabernacle all the time. So it's kind of like one of the reasons we tithe. This is how it is in the Catholic Church. The nuns and the priests and all that stuff, they live. I always forget the name of what it's called, that they live on the property. There's a word for it where they live, and I always forget what it is. Where do priests live? Somebody's going to have it before I look it up. Parishes, parish houses, rectories, parish houses, or private residences. But these people aren't making money. They don't have jobs. So they get stuff provided for them through tithing. In the same way, the Levites who are in the tabernacle all the time, they're not farming. They're not shepherding, not in the sense of raising herds and raising flocks and raising cattle, farming. They're not doing all this stuff. And if you don't work, you don't eat. So their work is being in the tabernacles and performing these rituals and doing the offerings and doing the anointings and doing all these things. So that's why they get a chunk of what's left from the offerings. Otherwise, they wouldn't eat. Verse 33, chapter 7. He among the sons of Aaron that offereth the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Israel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aaron the priest and unto his sons by a statute forever from among the children of Israel. This is the portion of the anointing of Aaron and of the anointing of his sons, out of the offerings of the Lord made by fire in the day when he presented them to minister unto the Lord in the priest's office, which the Lord commanded to be given them of the children of Israel in the day that he anointed them by a statute forever throughout their generations. This is the law of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which the Lord commanded Moses in Mount Sinai in the day that he commanded the children of Israel to offer their oblations unto the Lord in the wilderness of Sinai. So that is the ritual sacrifice laws, Leviticus 1 through 7 of Leviticus. Tomorrow, we're going to do 2 chapters about how priests are ordained. Aaron and his son's ordination, the first service and the first failure. Chapter 8 is Aaron and his son's ordination. Chapter 9 is the first service. Chapter 10 is the first failure. I don't know what that means, but we're going to find out tomorrow. And then we're going to start into the ritual purity. And this might get interesting, this part. Leviticus 11 through 15. Chapter 11 is about the ritual purity of food. Chapter 12 is about the ritual purity of childbirth. That's going to be an interesting one. Chapter 13, the ritual purity of skin. I don't know what that means, but is that skin of animals that we eat, or is that about cleanliness of our skin? Is that like some Neutrogena, or what are we talking about? Chapter 14 is the rituals they do to purify mold. And chapter 15, ritual purity of bodily fluids. Leviticus 15 is all about what rituals you do to purify yourself or to purify bodily fluids, body fluids. So it might get interesting tomorrow. I don't know. But we got 7 votes. I'm going to end the poll. We got 8 people in here. We got 7 votes. I think only one person. I think that's one person voted for right before VK. Everybody else said after the Bible study. So the plan is. Oh, you were going to tell me about the parishes, Amanda? Yeah. I always forget the word parish. The plan is tomorrow after Bible study, I'm going to raid you guys in to the premiere. I'm going to have it premiere at 12:30. So right now it's 12:11 my time. So I don't know what time zones you guys are in, but right now it's 12:11 my time. We usually end between 12 and 1 my time. So it's 12:11 my time. So whatever time it is for you, that hour 30 is 12:30 for me. Is when we're going to premiere the protest, the Not My President's Day protest video. And I'm going to raid you guys from here. I'll be streaming the Bible study until I'll stream up until 12:30, and then the premiere will start, and I'm going to do like a 2-minute preview on the premiere. So when I end this at 12:30 and it starts, I can raid you guys into there, and it will be the little countdown timer going, or I'll do like a 5-minute countdown. So it gives you guys time to go to the bathroom or whatever you want to do. And then you can watch the premiere of the protest video tomorrow. So 11:11 here. So 11:30 for you, Amanda. It'd be 11:30 Pacific, 12:30 Mountain, 1:30 Central, 2:30 Eastern time, and 6:30 in imaginary land in Australia. Foster's Australian for beer. So it'll premiere at 6:30 in Australia. So that's the plan. 6:30 a.m. Oh, a.m. Dang. And then Friday night, I will be in VK. Try to start my stream up like a half an hour to an hour before VK starts. As long as I get to bed at a decent hour, I should be able to get started on my stream like half an hour to an hour so we can look over the topics and just chill before it starts. And then we'll go over and do VK. And then afterwards, I'll do Discord. Or if somebody else wins VK and they have an after party, maybe we'll go jump on their panel. And then Saturday, we got a stacked fight card for a fight night. It's not even a pay-per-view, but we got a stacked fight night on fight night. A fight night on fight night. UFC fight night stream. Preliminary card starts at 4. Main card starts at 7. Depending on what time I get to bed Friday, we'll decide when I start the stream on Saturday. At the latest, we'll for sure watch the main card. But I'd like to watch the preliminary card too. It's just waking up at 4 p.m. and then streaming until 10 a.m. the next day is it's a bit of a mess. But that's the plan. I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to put this thumbnail together, write this description, get the tags, and then I will have I'll post the video, and you'll be able to see the premiere countdown or whatever. That's the plan. So let me see if there's somebody I can raid you to. Is Jess still live? Nah, she's not. Oh, yeah, she is. Chris is over there. Shiva's over there. Teriak's over there. Yeah, I'll send you guys over there. Say what up to Jess and Chris and Shiva and Teriak. And you guys have a good one, all right? I'll catch you later. God bless. See you tomorrow. Peace.